Okay. All right, Shalom. All right. So this is a continuation of the class. Well, actually, it's part of the steward class. As you all know, House of David has the steward class, and goes from about 3:30 to about 5. So we'll try to go to about 5. I know it's hot in here, but the brother went to go get the air conditioning. So with everybody's participation and help, cooperation and donating, we're going to get the air conditioning. So by tonight, you should see a new air conditioning. The fan won't be up yet, but at least we'll have the air conditioning on. It gets kind of hot here. All right. So we're just going to go over a few things. Primarily Romans 9th chapter. Romans 9th chapter. We'll start from the first verse. And for the newer brothers and the sisters also, we want to welcome you all here to the House of David. But also, we want you to be a participator. All right? I mean, a participator coming into the knowledge of your own nation. And now you will begin to have that understanding that now you got to help build this nation. Understand? With works, right? With you being visible and being here, being part of the congregation, being part of the High Holy Days, being visible. Because that's what all this is about. We're building, Mosai and Yahushua is building this nation up. Even though we're still scattered throughout the earth and in our particular country where we're at, or region of the earth where we're at, but Yahushua is going to build us back up, step by step. One Israelite at a time is building us up. So we have to understand that. And so, where are you at in that? See, you want to fit somewhere in that too. Understand? So that's why your diligence is highly important, because remember the 12. Yahushua had 12 disciples, but he had more than just 12. He had 72. He had gotten 70 disciples on top of the 12. But but the 70 left him, right? Because Yahushua said, with the Mosai, nothing's impossible. So with the Mosai, right? And so the 70 left him. And now with the 70 disciples, he gave them spiritual power. They had knowledge, they had wisdom, they had all that. But they left Yahushua. Yahushua turned to the 12 and said, are you going to leave me also? So it's about endurance. That's why Yahushua teaches, he said, any man that put his hand to the plow and then turn his back, see, that man is not fit for the kingdom of God. So how are you going to start out something and then not finish it? How are you going to not finish the work? So how do you expect? That's like going on Esau's job, and you start the job, but you quit before your 8 hours is up. All of a sudden you just quit after about 3 hours. You quit. Do you expect to get paid? No. See, Esau's not going to pay you. So you expect Yahushua to give you a reward if you quit in the middle before the job is done? You're not going to get paid. Yahushua teaches that. See? Every man will be rewarded according to his works. So this is why it's highly important. So this is why you as Israelite brother and sister, your diligence is highly needed in this as we go forward. Look, and we're in the end. The end is here, pretty much. It's here. Just that now all Yahushua got to do is begin the process. The beginning of the end is to begin that. And that's pretty much going to begin with the 7-year tribulation period that you read about in Revelation. Okay? And that's about to begin. Jacob's trouble. That's talking about Jacob's trouble and Israel's trouble. That's what that's talking about. All right? And so that's coming. So we just have to wake up. And so And that's why, you know, you see, like the scripture says, it's going to be like a chase row, and all the nations are going to go back to their own kind. All right. So when are we going to start doing that? See, we want to be amongst everybody else, but when are we going to start going back to our own kind? See, start being who we naturally are and born as. We're Hebrews. We're born as Hebrews, Israelites, Yasha'Allah. So when are we going to start that? So we just want to start with Romans 9 and then go through that a little bit. All right? And so I'm going to have brothers read, just read loud so the camera can pick it up. Okay, Con? Okay, read loud for us. Let's see. How about you? Yeah. Give me your Hebrew name again. Nathaniel. Okay, Nathaniel is going to read starting from Romans 9th chapter, 1st verse.
Romans chapter 9, verse 1. I say the truth in Yahushua, I lie not. My conscience also bear witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself was accursed from Yahushua for my brethren, for my kinsmen according to the flesh.
Hey, how about that? So, by reading that, okay, Paul, this is Apostle Paul, right? And he's in Roman. He's in amongst the Romans. He's amongst the Israelites who are in Rome. Put it like that. All right. And of course, you know, of course, there's other nations there too, Edomites, other nations, right? So Paul has to make a distinction. He's making it clear who he is, who he's coming to teach, who he's come to Rome for to teach, so that the people can understand. Okay. So Paul says, he say the truth in the Mashiach Yahushai, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit. Right? His conscience bear witness of the Holy Spirit. Okay? That I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For what? For who? For I could wish that myself were cursed from the Mashiach Yahushai for my brethren, see my kinsmen, according to the flesh. So Paul is making the distinction. Now he's separating. Because Paul, where was Paul born? Yeah. Yeah. And where's Tarsus? In Rome. Yeah. Yeah. A Roman city. There's this so-called Negro born in a Roman city. Right? So Paul was able to speak the language too. Latin, Greek. He was able to speak the language. Understand? So you had a lot of our people in Rome. There's a lot of our people in Rome today. Right? A lot of our people in Greece today. All right? So our people are scattered all over the place, right? They have ghettos in Rome. You may not hear about them, but they're there. All right? And a lot of our people are still there. Now here's Paul in Rome, and at the synagogue or church in Rome where our people at. And this is back during the time of Paul. Okay? During the disciples. So if our people were scattered and in Rome at that time, what makes you think that they're not there now? Some of their children are still there. Some of our people's children who were in Rome at this time, who Paul was speaking to, their children's children are still there. Come? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And as you know, of course, we ruled through it for about 1,000 years. All right? All right, so our people are still there. So here's Paul making a distinction now that his brethren according to the flesh, why do you think he said according to the flesh? So it'd be no mistake of what? Identification purposes, correct. Who's he really talking about? And who the Most High's chosen are. Right? Because now you have all these people who are trying to be proselytes. A proselyte is a foreigner, some of another nation trying to be a Hebrew or an Israelite. Come? A stranger trying to be an Israelite. Right? So, just like you go out there teaching today, go out there to speaking, And sometimes you'll get our people, they stand for it, but a lot of times you'll get what? Another nation come. And I say, no, you got our people there and you got other nations there. But these other nations, they think that they're chosen too, right? The other nations think that they're chosen too now. And how you going to persuade them that they're not? Right? They got their religions. Right? They got their Buddhist religion. They got their Muslim religion. In their minds, they're the chosen too. According to their religion, right? And they got pictures or idols of what they in their minds think Christ is, or what Christ looks like. But it always looks like them, don't it? It always looks like them. You understand? So, except for Israel, we always depict our Lord, right? Our who they call Jesus, Christ, right? As someone of another nation, a white man, or understand? Instead of depicting it as who we look like, all right? But we know the scriptures teach us Yahweh Shai is a dark-skinned man, right? Woolly hair. But the other nations have their gods look like them, which they're correct. They're supposed to, right? They're supposed to. We're the only ones that don't do that. We're the only nation that do that. You go to all black church, what do you see up there in the pictures? White Jesus. And that's the problem. All right, so Paul is going to identify now who the chosen are. Because remember, Paul was chosen to be the apostle to the Gentiles, right? And the kings and Israel. He was chosen by the Most High to be apostle to all those, represent all those people. Even Gentiles. I'm talking about natural Gentiles too. All right? And of course the Gentiles of Israel at that time, we were considered Gentiles because we were estranged from our own understanding of our own nation, right? So now you're going to read the 4th verse, and what does Paul say?
Who are Israelites.
Yeah, see? He says, his brethren and kinsmen according to the flesh. According to the flesh means what? According to lineage, yeah. Lineage, race, seed, heritage, nation, all that. See? All those adjectives you put with it. That's what he's talking about. He said, who are Israelites? Because when you go to Romans 11:1, right quick, turn the page. Romans 11:1. What does Paul say?
I say then, has Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid.
No. So that's what that means. No. When it says Most High forbid, it means no. He did not do such a thing. But is Israel cast out of the land? Yes, we are. Scripture says the Most High rooted us out of the land in anger. See? He rooted us out of the land in anger. See? And in fury, he rooted us out of the land. So he did scatter us and dispersed us, but he didn't cast us away forever. That's what that means. He didn't cast us away forever. The Most High is going to redeem us in Yahweh Shai and bring us back. So Paul is saying that the Most High did not cast us away forever. No. Because why? All the nations are teaching that. They are saying that. Yeah. So that's why you got Edomites in the land now, over there in Mount Zion. You got other heathens over there, Palestinians, so-called Palestinians, Arabs or whatever. You even got Chinese who say they're Hebrews. You got all kinds of people, man. Because why? The original Hebrews are cast away. They're forgotten people. This is what they're saying. And so we can take up the banner now. They're not doing it. They broke the law. They know you broke the commandments. They know it. That's why they treat you the way they treat you. Because they know you broke the commandments, and the Most High if the Most High cast you out, how's any other nation going to love you? If the Most High don't love you for a time being, the Most High is angry at you, how do you expect other nations to love you? See, the other nations know it. Whether their Most High cast them out and hated them, cast them out of the land, so hell, we can hate them too. know what I'm saying? And call them all kinds of names and so forth. And downgrade you and belittle you, and understand? Because why? They know your power did it to you. So they're gonna do it to you. Right? Understand? So until we return back to the Most High and begin to respect ourselves as the Most High is chosen, and then keep the commandments, the nations are gonna keep doing it. But we keep trying to change, get a different result. We keep trying to get a different result. We keep trying to force these nations to love us, and it's just not working. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, and you're looking for a different result. And there's no different result. Martin Luther King tried it, you know what I'm saying? Other black nationalist groups tried it, it just doesn't work. The Christian community is trying it, it doesn't work. You're not getting a different result. Now they're going inside the church and killing you. Understand? So it's not working. So you got to come up with something different. See? Esau don't want the other thing that's different. He don't want that. No. Yeah.
Where they get, where the churches get that is spiritual Israel now.
Huh?
Where the church get that we is spiritual Israel now. Israel is the spirit. But that's what they say.
Right. Because they don't understand in the scriptures, when the Most High says neither Greek or Jew, well, you can be a spiritual Israelite. Yeah. Right. But still, see, what you got to understand is the Most High. See, it was a law in the Bible called the law of the strangers.
Yes.
You ever read that law?
Yes.
What did the stranger have to do to become? Yeah, they keep the law, statutes, and commandments. See, it was predicated on they have to keep the commandments of the Most High. They have to practice being like a Hebrew. They have to practice being an Israelite. I'm not going to say practice being a Jew. They have to practice being a Hebrew. They have to practice the culture of Israel. And the culture of Israel is really just keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Okay, first and foremost. And then, of course, there's other culture characteristics that we had. But I'm saying first and foremost, it was the commandments. Understand? So there is no just, I'm a spiritual Jew because I love the Most High. No, there's none of that. You got to keep the commandments. Did Esau keep the commandments? No. Other nations keep the commandments? No. So you can't say you're a spiritual Jew and then you're able to get away with that salvation is for you too because you're a spiritual Jew. No, it's not going to work. So that's why we're going to go over this. It's not going to work. Because we're going to go over where it says, the ones who say, well, I'm from Abraham too. So, did you keep the commandments? See, the strangers had to keep the laws. Even the ones that came out of Egypt with us, they were willing to keep the commandments. You understand? You read the history where a lot of our people, especially, let's say, during the time of, I think it was John Hyrcanus. He was from the lineage of the Maccabees, of the Hasmonean dynasty, of our people. He forced the Edomites. You want to practice, being a Hebrew, you got to get circumcised. Forced them to get circumcised. Okay? Understand? So how you going to be a spiritual Israelite and you don't want to get circumcised? You don't want to keep none of the commandments? No, you're not an Israelite. No. See? You're not a spiritual Israelite.
And no physical walking there.
Right.
Spiritual.
Right. So it's predicated on whether they keep the law, statutes, commandments. Then the Most High say treat them like one of your nation. Do you understand? Do you understand? So and that's Israel did that. We had that law of strangers. We had strangers. I mean, people of other nations came in and they wanted to live amongst Israel, right? And we're not saying marry. We're not saying marry an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? But we're saying they wanted to live amongst Israel. Then it was predicated on whether they wanted to keep were willing to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. They had to. And it's going to be that way in the kingdom also. Understand? It's going to be that way in the kingdom. All right? So read 11 and 1.
I say then, has Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid. For I am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Right. See? One of the most important words there is seed. See? Seed of Abraham. See? I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham. Understand? Of the tribe of Benjamin. He's given his credentials, who he is. That's like pretty much his birth certificate right there. That's pretty much he's given his birth certificate, right? So when you go back to Romans 9, when he says 9:3, for I could wish that myself were cursed from Yahushua, for my brother and my kinsman according to what? Flesh. That's the seed. Do you understand? The seed determines everything, brother. Do you know what's in seed? Take an apple seed. What's in an apple seed? Everything. The DNA, everything that makes it the apple. You can't change that. So that's why Esau with his GMO, and he got his fake seed. That's not, it may look like an apple, and you may eat it as an apple, but that's not an apple. I don't know what the hell that is, but that's not an apple. It may look like an orange, but when he crossed those seeds and does whatever he does to make it GMO, that's not an orange. Also, these seedless grapes and all that, it may look like a grape, it may even taste like a grape, but that's not a grape. Understand? It has to have the original seed, the original DNA, and that's everything. To make up the component, make up what it is, what the Most High made it to be, it's the seed. So the same thing with the seed of man. You are who you are according to your father, because the father carries the seed. He carries the lineage, he carries the race, he carries what tribe you're going to be, he carries everything. He carries everything. How you going to look, you know. Sometimes the physical aspects is the man and the woman. But as far as nationality aspects, it's the man solely. Con? The man solely, yeah.
And also the father carried both chromosomes of the male and the female.
Huh?
The father carried both chromosomes.
Chromosome, yeah, he does. The Y and the X chromosome. He carries both. He does. She's right about that. Okay? So it's the man carry his nation with him in his seed, in his sperm. Forever. He carries it with him. The woman, you have to plant it into the woman. Then the woman bears it. You understand? So the earth, that's why Eve is like, it says the mother of all, understand? Like the earth. Because the earth is like a woman's womb. You have to plant the seed in the earth for it to bring forth what it's going to bring forth. Okay? I got news for you. You could put a seed of an animal, of a dog in a woman. You understand? And it'll bring forth whatever it brings forth. Because her womb is like the earth. It's just, all it does is what do you call it? That gestation period, 9 months, and it brings forth. It can bring forth anything. Understand? Of course, that's wicked as hell, but Esau's practicing that garbage. Understand what I'm saying? So that's why you put the seed in the earth, and it's going to bring forth what it brings forth. But the seed is everything. That's why everything has to have a seed in it. Understand? So you get these oranges with no seeds in it, what do you have? It's not an orange. I don't know what it is. These seedless watermelon, don't eat it. You know, people eat it, but still, it doesn't have all the components, the vitamins, the minerals, everything it's supposed to have in it. Something's missing. Yeah. It's always something missing. All right. So the same thing here. If you take a nation, another nation, and then take an Israelite woman, of course, it's going to be, and then they bring forth children. It's going to be whatever that man is, right? And so, what does that do to the nation? If all a woman wanted, other nations' man, what's that going to do to the nation?
Destroy it.
It's going to destroy it. That's why the Most High said he's against intermarrying with other nations, and so he's against it. Right. And also, if a black man marries another nation of woman, still he may bring forth his seed, but still, what does it do? It still destroys a nation. Yeah. Understand? It still destroys a nation. Yeah.
Because there was a law when they came to the land of Moab, they said not to marry your sons unto their daughters.
Yeah.
Because they're going to teach them to worship their gods.
Their gods. It still destroys a nation.
Yeah.
And the Most High gave examples of that. You read the story about the Israelitish man who bowed down to idols.
Yes.
You know? All right. His father was of another nation, but his mother was Israelite, and he started bowing down to idols, and it was causing Israel to do the same thing. You understand? So the Most High had him put to death. Right. So when you read the history, but this is what happens. Understand? All right. So so that's wickedness out. So this is what Paul is showing us here, that the seed. He's talking about his seed now, where he came from. All right. And go back to Romans 9 and then read 4 again.
Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promises.
Right, see? So, because everybody in the earth, everybody, especially the church systems, all right, they are all, everybody, especially in their religions that go along with these church systems, everybody's wondering who the kingdom is for. Who's going to be the one to make it to the kingdom? So Paul's identifying who the Most High is for here. Understand? So he's for the ones who are according to his flesh, who are Israelites. They're the ones that pertain to the adoption. Adoption means what? What does adoption mean? Being adopted. Okay. Taking someone to your family. What's
I
that?
was going to say to be accepted as one's child.
To be accepted as one's child. But that's
That's it,
yeah. That goes along with that. Right. Right, how about that? To choose one for which, or to choose a people for himself, or for thyself. See? To choose one for thyself. Or the act of taking something on to you. Understand? So Yahushua is going to adopt us back. He's going to take Israel, who's like a bastard child, just all over the place, right? No father, no heavenly father, no nothing, no leadership, no nothing, right? So Yahushua is going to redeem us back and adopt us back, and going to take on the nation unto himself, as like somebody who's being adopted. See? So that only pertains to Israel. So can other nations be adopted to Yahushua? No. Because they have their forefathers, they have their land, they have their culture, they have everything. We don't have nothing. We have it, but we don't have it. See? We don't claim it. We don't own it no more. You understand? So Yahweh tries to redeem us back. All right? And then it says, the glory and the covenant. See the glory? See, everything that pertains to the glory of the kingdom of heaven only is for Israel. It's only for Yahshua. That's it. It's for nobody else. So how come the churches teach us for everybody? Understand? It's only for Israel. See? And the covenants. The covenants are what? Yeah.
The laws, the statutes, and
Yeah.
the commandments.
Because that was only given to who?
Israel.
Israel. Right. Understand? That was only given to Israel. And in Psalms 50 and 5, let's read that right quick.
Psalms chapter 50, verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me.
See, the saints are who? Right. And if somebody say, well, how you know the saints? Isn't the saints everybody who trust in Yahushua, trust in the Lord, right? They would say. Well, when you go to 148 Psalms, what is it? 14th verse. 148:14, it says, he also exalteth the horn of his people, right? The praise of all his saints, even the children of Israel. See? Who are the saints? Only Israel. So here they canonize somebody, a pope, a former pope, to be a saint. No, they're nothing. They're the saint devils. They're nothing. Understand? They're saints in that world. But with the Most High, the only saints there are is Israel. That's it. So when you go back to 50 and 5, now read that again. Who has it? Who is it? Your sister got it?
Yeah.
Read it, sister. Yeah.
Happy is he. Happy is he.
No. Psalms 50 and 5.
Gather my saints together. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Right. Now, how did Israel make the covenant by sacrifice? Yes.
Through the circumcision.
Yeah, through the circumcision. Con. Circumcision. See? Most High always, whenever he's going to prepare for Israel to abide by or keep the covenant, whatever covenant it was, the covenant of the Sabbath, there was always some type of sacrifice involved. And didn't Moses perform a blood sacrifice on Israel coming out of Egypt?
Yes.
He sprinkled blood on every last person
Yes.
of Israel. Actual blood
Yes.
by sacrifice. So you had to sacrifice the animal or whatever, the lamb, whatever, understand? Take the blood and sprinkle the blood on every last, about over 1 million people of all people came out of Egypt. Blood. So what if we stood up here and put blood on them? They're forming witchcraft. They're doing witchcraft in the house of David. That's what you would say, right? No, but Moses did that. Understand? Yeah. No other nation that was performed on by no other nation. Only Israel was given that type of sacrifice and blood covenant that we should keep the laws. That was a binding covenant. It was done by blood, through blood. That's why the scriptures say what? In Hebrews, there is no redemption. Hebrews 9:22. I know I'm going kind of fast here, but Hebrews 9:22.
Hebrews 9:22.
Mm-hmm.
And also, all things are by the law purged with blood.
What?
Purged with blood.
So the covenant of circumcision, the covenant of the Sabbath, the 10 commandments. Understand? The laws of sacrifice, right? The ceremonial laws. You can go on and on and on, right? Are they purged with what? Blood. If it's not going to be a sacrifice of an animal, somebody's life's going to be taken. Somebody's life. Hey, look. For the redemption of Israel, is anybody's life going to be taken? You're damn straight. Right? You want to be redeemed? Somebody got to die in your place. Somebody got to be put to death in your place. Not just die, they got to be put to death in your place. Do you understand? Scripture says about 2/3 of the nation as a whole. 2/3. Only 1/3 is going to survive out of it. 2/3 got to die so the 1/3 can live on. And the 1/3 in the kingdom is going to bring the 2/3 back in the reincarnation, but still. The scripture say that. You understand? Yeah, reincarnation is real. Y'all understand that? Huh? Yeah. That's why the Most High can take out 2/3 and then bring them back later on in the kingdom. Right? The 1/3 is going to bring them back in the kingdom of heaven. That's all. All right? But still, they got to be put to death. When we're talking about being put to death, being killed, blood sacrifice. Because when you sacrifice that lamb, when the high priest sacrificed the lamb for the Day of Atonement, What does he do with it? The lamb just won't die itself. He got to kill it, don't he? He has to kill it. And actually, all the high holy days, there are certain sacrifices, blood sacrifices of certain animals that we got to do. We don't do it over here because we're in our captivity over here. See? But when we get back into the kingdom, that's going to be performed. That's why the high priest and Levites, the Levitical priesthood is coming back. These, say the Haitians, right? The Levitical priesthood, all that's coming back. The sons of Aaron and Zadok, they're all coming back. And they're going to be performing those sacrifices, all right? Blood sacrifices. Again, it's all coming back. But still, for our redemption, for Israel as a whole, there's going to be a blood sacrifice. Because all things, right, by the law is purged with blood. Right? And it's the Most High's commandment. Right? And that's a law too. His commandment is law. Whatever it is, whenever he commands, and it goes forward from the Most High, it's going to go down. Remember, the Most High, his word does not return back void. Purged with blood. All right? So finish reading that one. Who had it?
Me.
Go ahead.
And without shedding of blood is no remission.
So you're not going to be even saved. Everybody says, well, I'm saved. How the hell are you saved yet? How the hell are you saved? Where's the purging of the blood? Where's, the sacrifice? How the hell are you saved? Nobody's saved. Nobody. You come to the house of David, you're not saved yet. You're just here. You're just here. You better hope that you better pray that you be delivered. Yeah, so the churches, they run that garbage. They run that line. I'm saved. You're not saved because you run into a brick building made out of wood. Okay? So that doesn't work that way. So there's no remission of sins, okay, without blood. You understand? All right. Hey, look. When you read the scriptures out in Aqua, the disciples, they gave up their life, didn't they? Right? Read how Stephen was killed. Stoned to death by Israel. You know what I'm saying? By Israel, just stoned to death. And he was thought highly of the Most High. You understand? Paul. Right? Huh? Yeah, Paul was there, right? Coasting. Yeah. Go ahead. Kill him. Go on, man. Kill him. See? We don't know that strange doctrine he talking about. The Hawashai, who? Yeah, that was Paul. Stone him. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So, the disciples, man, they went through, Andrew, he got crucified. He got crucified even worse than Yahushua. He got crucified like that. Yeah. This is Andrew. Ex-crucifixion. Peter. Now, can you be crucified upside down? Yeah, think about it. Upside down. Think about it. Now, the crucifixion is the worst death you can pretty much go, happen to you. That's the worst kind. So now, just think, you upright, you being crucified, that's bad enough. They turn you upside down. Yeah, and you don't go right away. We were strong. You last for days up there. And you can't, your hands are this way, your hands up here like this. What can you do? You got to scratch your back or something. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? You're dying of thirst, you need water, food, nothing. That's the worst type of death. Yeah. You're better off than being quick. Yeah. You're better off if you know what I'm saying? Roman come, chop head off. Okay, but that's quick. You know what I'm saying? But the crucifixion, no, you don't want that. You do not want that. That's the worst way to go. So, but the disciples, Because the scripture says, present your body as a living sacrifice. All right? As a living sacrifice. And we're not saying everybody that comes to the truth is going to be put to death like that. We're not saying that. But we're saying a lot of our people, I think Mathafra brought the scripture out this morning. Or he quoted it. He says some are just born, they're born what? Yeah, to die. You're going to be of that number that the Most High uses as a sacrifice. That's what you're born for. They don't know it. They're out there. You know what I'm saying? They don't know it, but that's what they're born for. Most High don't want everybody. He don't need everybody. All right? And not only that, and you come out throughout the whole, there's over 8 billion people on earth. Most High don't need all these people on earth. Most High don't kill about a couple of billion people. There's a lot of people on earth. There's all these people on earth. That's a lot of people, man. See, so Most High gonna take out a few billion. Yeah, a lot of people, man. Remember, it said there's gonna be 1,000 on your right side gonna fall by the sword, and 1,000 on your left. Do you see that happening out there? See, so you think, you know, you hear the stuff that's happening on the news, and you do hear it, right? Earthquakes, famine, pestilence, diverse places. They had some kind of flood in Japan, earthquake somewhere this past week, right? But that's not that. That's nothing. That's only leading up to the 7-year tribulation period. That's only leading up to it. The tribulation period is going to be 1,000, literally on your right side, 1,000 on your left. You're going to see people fall, be put to death. Understand? So it's going to get on that level, right? So that's why you want to make sure you examine yourself in the spirit of truth, right? Are you in or are you out? Understand? So go back to Romans 9 and the 5th verse. Okay, Romans 9 and 5.
Romans chapter 9, verse 5. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Yahweh came, who is over all. Yahweh blessed forever. Amen.
Right, see? Whose are the fathers, see? And of whom, as concerning the flesh, see? So everybody's saying, I'm a chosen, I'm saved, I'm a Christian, I'm this, I'm that. So everybody's saying that. Nations say that. Everybody's saying that. But Paul is laying it on the line here. Who did the Most High and Yahweh come for? Understand? Came for Yahshua. Now a lot of people say, well, okay, he came for Israel. But you mean the white man in Israel? No. So now you got to find out who are the real Israelites and who are the real Jews. Understand? Who are, remember the scripture says, the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. Well, the white man ain't lost. Right? He ain't lost. And if anything, the white man is running away from his nation. Nobody wants to be an Edomite. Nobody wants to be Esau. Everybody running away from that. Nobody wants to be the white man, right? So, but it's the 12 lost tribes. We are these lost tribes. And once you find out who they are, then that's who the glory of the covenants and the giving of the law and the promises is given to. Okay? The promises, the giving of the law, only given to Israel. Understand? So Yahweh only came because that, like the sister asked about the spiritual Israelites, the ones who claim that they're Israelite in spirit. Well, this denounces that, right?
Yes.
Because the Most High is saying only in what? According to the flesh. You have to be an Israelite according to the flesh, seed. And then Paul is saying to be born an Israelite. And if you're born an Israelite, if you're born Yahshua, one of the 12 sons of Jacob, that means the giving of the laws for you, the covenants for you, the glory of the kingdom of heavens for you, see? Understand? The redemptions for you, remission of sins for you. You understand? That's what he's saying. So that denounces all that. They say, I'm a spiritual Israelite. Yeah, but wait a minute. What is this saying then? Understand, Con? You understand that? Yeah. So if someone said that to you, you bring out this scripture. Paul said, according to the flesh. Yahweh Shai dealing with the ones who are Israel according to what? The flesh. He didn't say you had to be a spiritual Israelite for Yahweh Shai to come redeem you. So you got Israelites out there that are going to be delivered that they're not even going to know they're Israelites. They're going to know, of course, in that day, but I'm saying, you know, a lot of our people, the Most High has already chosen, they probably don't even know, not even going to know until the day that they're delivered. How about that? Understand? There's going to be thousands, millions of us in that wilderness. Then you're going to have to keep the commandments. You got to remember, you're not going straight into the land now. You're not going straight into Israel. When the remnant of us that get delivered out of here is going into the wilderness. Did we go straight into the land from Egypt? But we're not going to be in the wilderness for 40 years again. But we're going back to the wilderness, that's for sure. And what's the Most High going to do? Bring us back into the bond of the covenant again. Then the ones who say, well, I didn't know I was an Israelite. Okay, you're okay. if the Most High chose you to be, redeemed, okay, that's okay. But now when you get in the wilderness, now you're going to have a chance. Are you going to keep these commandments or are you not going to keep the commandments? What are you going to do? See? Because the ones who say, I want to go back to America. Okay, you can say that. But that means what? You're not going to enter into the Israel. You're not going to enter into the land. All right? And you'll be put to death. Remember, He's going to purge out. He's going to purge out a remnant of our people in the wilderness. Right? And these are some of the same people now that were delivered. All right? A lot of our people that's in the region now, they're going to walk into the land or walk into the area of the wilderness where we're at. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. But of course, the remnant of us that are not in that region, how are we going to get there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's where the scripture said the chariots are going to go in the four corners of the earth and deliver the ones who are not in that region. Because the chariots aren't going to deliver everybody. Because there's no need. The ones that are in the land already, they can walk there. They can, go there. But the ones who are not, the chariots got to deliver into that region. And they're going to deliver us into the wilderness. And then that's where it's going to be a purging. That's why I got the movie, The Purge. Purge Anarchy. Boy. They get it from the scriptures. You know they get it from the scriptures. And that purging is coming for Israel too. Yahweh Shai is going to purge. That's going to be Yahweh Shai. You're going to get the order from the Most High, and the ones that don't want to go back and come back to the bonds of the covenant, they're going to be put to death right there. So you might have been delivered, just like you delivered out of Egypt. Well, didn't the Red Sea open up and we walked through? Greatest miracle, right? Greatest spiritual thing that ever happened in the history of the earth. That alone, you should have said, well, I'm all for what the Most High. That alone. Yeah, you didn't need the 10 plagues, just that alone by itself. You understand? You didn't need the other plagues the Most High brought. But those were added too. But just that alone. But Israel still complained, they still murmured, they still were wicked in the wilderness. Understand? So a lot of them had to die. The Most High said, nah, 40 years, you're going to just crisscross in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? All in that wilderness. All right? So, the same thing here. All right? There's going to be a purging. And even the ones who are, going out, you see the chariots come and beam them up into it and everything. See? And then you're still going to get in the wilderness, have the nerve to complain and murmur. Because you left a $200,000 house and a Lexus Jeep and an iPhone, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, because you left that, now you mad as hell because you ain't got that no more, because all that's gone. All that is gone. All that is gone for what? for the what? For the riches of the kingdom of heaven. You're going to get better things than that.
Yes.
But because their carnal mind can't perceive that, they don't, you know, they still want their little carnal possession they had in the world. And it's going to destroy them. It's going to get them killed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's why Howard tried to say those who try to save us like it's going to lose
Yeah,
it.
it's going to lose it.
And those who lose it like it's going to
Save
save
it,
us.
right. How about that? All right?
Well,
Yeah.
I have two questions. The ones that you said will be saved who don't know they're Israelites. Where are they coming from? Are those who are just not accepting of him now, or where?
For example, there are a lot of our people. We got to remember the dispersion, right?
Right.
That's why, and when you read Acts 7:49, no, John 7:49. I'm sorry, John 7. I'm just go to two scriptures. See, it says in John 7:35, St. John 7:35, he said, what? Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we should not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Okay? So Israel's dispersed. Now, then when you go to first James, I think James 1:1. James 1:1. Israel is scattered abroad. Okay? It says James 1:1. James, the servant of the Most High and of Yahweh Shai, to the 12 tribes which are where? Scattered abroad. So we're scattered abroad. You know what that means? Into every region, nook and cranny of the whole earth. Do you know those Aborigines? We're finding out now the Aborigines of Hawaii, Israelites. Aborigines of Australia, Israelites. Aborigines of the islands in the Pacific, Guam and all that, Israelites. A lot of them, right? You know those remote areas in the Amazon? And they're running around there with Israelites. They probably don't have a clue. You understand what I'm saying? So when it says scattered abroad, that's literally, it's not talking about into the main areas of the earth, you know, Western Hemisphere. Okay, you got North America, South. We know that. But we're talking about some of these areas that hardly nobody ever goes. There's Israelites over there. Understand? Not let alone how many tribes. You know how many tribes there are in Africa? There's over 3,000 some odd tribes in Africa. Israelites. Well, we know we're not talking about the original Africans. We're talking about all people are still over there. Now we were sold out of Africa, right? What, all of us were? No, not all of us weren't. We're still over there, running around thinking we some damn Hamites. You know, but of course there are a lot of Hebrew villages there. But they know that the communities, they know the Israelites. Of course, we know the Igbo tribe, Fulani tribe, right? And the different tribes in Mali, Ghana, Ivory Coast, they know the Israelites. Right? All right? And just look it up. Right? But you still got some of the tribes over there that have no clue that they're Israel. Well, what, the Most High is not going to deliver them? Yeah, the Most High is going to deliver them. You understand? And then they're going to come not even knowing that, you know what I'm saying? And so, and then when they get into the wilderness, they're going to have a chance to do what? Yeah. To now begin to start keeping law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that they're under the curse.
Yeah, yeah. We're all under the curse. We're all under the curse. Okay? Yeah.
I was watching a video in Japan, and they look like the Japanese.
Yeah.
They look like them.
Just like
Just
us.
like
Yeah,
us.
it's Israel. Israel's
Just like us.
we in Israel, we in over there in Japan. Remember, we fought in World War II. We fought in the Korean War.
Yeah.
Our people are all over the place, man. They don't know the Israelites. Now, when you go to this scripture in Isaiah 66, Isaiah 66. So y'all didn't notice. This is after let's see. Isaiah 66:19.
Isaiah 66:19. And I will set a sign upon them. And I will
Among them.
I'm sorry.
What-
And I will set a sign among them. And I will send those that escape of them into the nations.
So he would set a sign. He would send those that escape of them. Those that escape from what? That the Most High preserve alive from the nations. All right. Yeah, we know that the nations, you know, they're going to be, a lot of them going to be put to death, right? But not all of them. Okay. You got to remember, all the nations are still going to be here. This is after Yahushua come and destroy, you know, the armies of the nations that come against Israel, right? Right? When Yahushua comes, they ain't going to destroy everybody. See, people think the earth is going to be just totally destroyed, ain't going to be nobody left. No. We got to rule the earth, don't we? So the nations are going to be here. So, the ones that escape the destruction, that's what it's talking about, of the other nations. This is what they're going to do now. That's why it named, go ahead, go ahead and read.
It's Tashar,
Tarshish. Tarshish, yeah. When you read in the history, they say that's in the area of Spain today. Okay. Go ahead. Pul, another nation. Go ahead.
And Lord,
Lud, go ahead.
that Jordan bow
Okay, go ahead.
to Baal,
Tubal, they say that's like in the area of Russia, I think, today. All right, go ahead.
and Javan,
I think that's in the area of, what's that, Greece? All right.
to the houses afar off.
To the islands are far off. Okay, to the islands. Go ahead.
I have not heard my fame.
That have not heard the Most High's fame. How about that? So, you mean tell me there's going to be the people out there that even after Yahushua hasn't heard the Most High and Yahushua's fame? Yeah. Okay. And so, go ahead.
Neither have seen my glory.
They haven't seen the glory. How about that? Go ahead.
And they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles.
They shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. Okay? So the Most High's glory is going to be declared among the Gentiles. The ones who haven't heard, okay, of the fame and what has happened in this earth, understand? Is going to be declared. Everybody's going to know. Okay? Go ahead up.
And they shall bring all your brethren.
They're going to bring who?
All your brethren.
See? So the sister said, well, what about the ones who are, you know, don't hear it or don't know about it? Well, what about them? I mean, there's some people will not know, not know what happened to earth. Yeah, just said it, right? There's people that's got not know. Because you got people in the remote areas that just, it's so remote that, you know, we're going to have to go get them. Or other nations are going to go get them and bring them. That's what the scriptures are saying. The other nations are going to bring our people who are in these remote areas, and they don't even know what's going on, right? They're going to bring them and bring the children of Israel who are in these remote areas to Israel, to Mount Zion as a sacrifice. In other words, as a blessing. Not a sacrifice, as a blessing. Right? So that they'll be blessed. Because in that day, everybody going to know who the real Jews are, who the Israelites are, right? So you're going to have a nation, well, let me go and see if I can get a blessing. Let me bring some of their people who are over here, right? And let me bring them to Israel so I can get a blessing. That's what they're going to do. So this is what it's going to say. Go ahead, Up.
For offering unto Yahweh.
See? And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering. See? They're going to bring them as an offering. Go ahead.
out of all nations upon horses.
See?
And
So
the
they may bring someone from the Amazon and put them on horses or put them on boats, and take them over there themselves as an offering so they can be blessed. Because in that day they know now that we're the Hebrews, we're the Israelites, and the only way to get something is you gotta bring something. You gotta bring an offering. You gotta bring a blessing. You gotta bring something. See? Understand? You gotta bring something. So they said, well, let us bring some of their chosen people.
Yeah. And the Mosai said he don't want their recompense.
Yeah.
He don't want their money.
He don't want their money, right? Right. So the best thing they're gonna look at they can do is let me bring some of their own people back to their land. And that's how the nations are going to be blessed. See, the nations are going to be blessed when they recognize what? That we are the Hebrews. See, they think they can go straight to the Most High, straight to Yahushua, to the Most High. No, they can't. They got to go through us. They have to come to us first. Then we go to the Most High on their behalf. We got to go to the Most High on their behalf. That's how the Most High going to do it. Otherwise, what kind of power are we going to have? If the nation goes straight to the Most High, what kind of power are we going to have? We may as well stay in captivity. I'm serious, right? We're going to stay in captivity. So the Most High is going to make it where we're going to have power in this earth, brother. We're going to run this earth. You want something, you got to do what? You got to go through the white man. You got to go through their court system, go through their business. You want a license to run a business, you got to go through them. So you always got to go through them for everything, right? And in our people's mind, you wanna go to the Heavenly Father, you got to go through the white man's religion. He even got it, but you got to go through their religion to go get to the Most High.
Right.
And think about it in our people's minds out there.
Yes.
Understand? Because Christianity is a white man's philosophy, right? That's what he told me he came out from the slave ships, right? And so, what do our people think they are now? Mostly Christian. So you got to go in the white man's religion and go to the Most High to get the Most High. You got to go through the white man. Or Roman Catholicism or whatever. So the same thing. Most High now, when we get in power, the nations got to serve us in Yahushua. And so if they want a blessing, then we'll go to Yahushua and say, Yahushua, this nation brought 1,000 of our people from the Amazon as an offering. What shall we do now? See? You understand? But if they think they're going to bring 1,000 of our people and say, the hell, we're going to you, I'm going to go straight to Yahushua. See? Yahushua's not even going to listen to them. He's not even going to listen to them. See? Because can we go straight to the Most High? You got to go through who? You have to go through Yahushua. That's what a lot of people are missing. The Most High is not even listening. The Most High said, what is that I hear? It's that noise. Yahushua, what is that noise over there? Somebody trying to pray to you and not saying what? Yahweh Bahasham. Yahushua, see? Most High not even listening. He said, I'm going to go back to my throne until you acknowledge your offense. And the only way you can acknowledge your offense, you have to acknowledge Yahushua first. Then the Most High listens. The Most High is only going to listen through Yahushua. Because just like the judge in the court, he only listens through what? Through your lawyer. He really ain't going to listen to you. I mean, you got people who try, but the judge ain't really listening to that crap. Do you think they really listen to him? Negro, I got my own defense. I'm my own lawyer. You think he want to listen to you? I mean, they'll sit there and let you go through the process, but are they really? You understand? So, see, the Most High let you go through the process, but the Most High ain't really listening. So, the same thing here. See? And the nations are going to recognize that. That's why the scripture says, if the nation of Egypt come not up, there shall be no rain. Meaning, if Moab come not up, there should be no rain. If Ammon come not up, there should be all of the nations. Most High just chose Egypt to be the example, but still, it's talking about all nations. You understand? So, finish reading that up.
And in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts.
Where are you? I'm sorry.
Isaiah.
Read 20 again. Start from the beginning.
And they shall bring all your brethren for offering into Yahweh out of all nations upon horses.
Go ahead.
And in chariots.
Meaning like, cars, boats, whatever it is. A chariot is anything that, moves and can carry people. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, up.
And in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith Yahweh, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yahweh.
Yeah, so that's what they're gonna do. Yeah, and they're gonna bring it. So, so to answer the sister's question, yeah, a lot of our people that don't know, they're not gonna know the truth. They're not gonna know the Israel, but the Most High can still deliver them. You understand? See? The ones of us that are woken up, yeah. Now we have to be diligent. We have to endure. See, we have to have faith. We have to start to keep the commandments. But the ones of us, because that's the Most High. And the ones of us that don't know, are ignorant to the truth, why should the Most High just keep them because they don't know the truth? So you got to remember, the chosen who are going to be delivered are already chosen already. You understand? They're already chosen. Most High already chosen. And it could be somebody in Amazon running naked in the Amazon zone. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because that's what the Most High want to do. Because the Most High said, he said Israel, and he told the laborer, remember the parable of the laborers?
Yes.
He says, I'm going to hire you just for a penny. Just for a penny, you're going to get paid a penny. That laborer going to be paid a penny. That one going to be paid a penny. So, but what about the ones who come 10 years after you? Why shouldn't they get paid that same penny? But see, the ones who are in here 10, 20 years think they should get more, right? Most I said, no, I didn't tell you that. I didn't tell you that. Most I said a penny. So the one who comes in after you 10 years from now, and most I forbid that would be here 10 more years. But still, the ones who come in after you, they're going to get the same reward you get. That's the Most High. But our reward is going to be what? The kingdom of heaven, brother. You know what you're going to get in the kingdom of heaven? Yeah, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. See? Understand? So don't think, even though the parables of the penny, but we know it's going to be the kingdom of heaven. The Most High going to make all of us happy and joyful in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying? Being in the kingdom. So that same one that don't know the truth, who's ignorant to the truth, and wasn't able to get access like you are, because here we are in the big city, right, New York. Here we are amongst the prophets. You got brothers teaching on just about every borough in New York, right? And then take the major cities in America. You got camps there, Israelite camps, right? So you're able to hear the truth. But the ones in the Amazon, right? Or let's say in the remote areas of the earth, you're not going to get a chance, right? So why shouldn't they have the ability to be able to hear or be redeemed, understand? And then have the ability to be saved. Or at least get to the wilderness to have a chance to hear it, you understand? And then they can choose whether they're going to accept it or not, right? Just like now. See? That's why the Most High said, choose you this day. What are you going to choose? The Most High does give you the ability to choose. So we're not robots, even though the Most High created us, but we're not robots. He gave us the ability to choose. What are you going to do? Understand? So it takes some sacrifice, brother. It takes some sacrifice, right? Because your life is different now. You're living in a negative world, evil, a wicked world. But also you have to deal with the righteous world.